I'm going to first read a poem titled Sounds of Silence, and then I'll lead us through a short meditation, breathing activity. Emma went to visit her grandpa during summer vacation. He lived in a wooden farmhouse by a river, out where the mountains rise up with their snowy caps, out where the sky is deep blue and the juniper trees dot the red earth. There weren't any other houses around except the hen house. Emma liked visiting her grandpa. Sometimes they'd drive around in his old Jeep, or watch the eagles soar, or collect eggs from the hens. Sometimes Emma played, and her grandpa sat out on the porch in his rocker and watched the mountains. One day Emma asked, "What are you doing, Grandpa?" "Just listening." "Listening to the sound of silence, darling," he said. "But silence doesn't have a sound," Emma said. "Oh, by golly, it does, darling," Grandpa said. "You hear it?" Emma listened. She heard a fish splash by the water's edge. Grandpa nodded. "That's the sound of silence, darling," he said. After lunch, Emma sat out with Grandpa on the porch and ate ice cream. "Listening to the sound of silence again?" she asked. "You bet, darling, you bet," Grandpa said. "Hear it?" Emma listened, and she heard the tin roof beating in the sun. "That's the sound of silence, darling," Grandpa said. That night they sat on the porch again after dinner. "I suppose you're listening to the silence again," Emma said. "Oh, by golly, I am, darling," Grandpa said. Emma listened again. She heard a coyote howl in the distance. "What does silence sound like in your town?" Grandpa asked her. Emma thought for a while. "It sounds like the train just after it passed through town in the middle of the night," Emma said. "That sounds like silence, darling," Grandpa said. "Sure does," Emma agreed. That was by Michael Hall. And again, it's in this book, Say Goodnight to Literacy. Sound of Silence. Silence is something that some people have fears of. They don't like the silence. They like to have some predictable noises in the background. So take some minutes and quiet your body. Try to relax yourself into your chair if you have to rearrange your bottom. Straighten your back. Sit up tall. Take in the breath. And release. What does silence sound like where you're at? Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're outside. Maybe you're even at a workspace, at an office or a school or a bank. What are the sounds you hear in the background? I hear the fan of our air conditioner in the background. It's July in Minnesota, and our AC is going today. I hear the sudden thud of the door of a vehicle next door, the teenagers coming home or leaving for errands. Sometimes I hear the gentle purr of my kitten as she sleeps on my lap. As I fall asleep at night, I hear the other members of my family settling into the beds. the beds whining underneath their weight, the blankets shuffling as they settle in. What are the sounds you hear? Listen to the sound of silence. The silent space around you is your space. Know the sounds. Knowing the sounds help you relax. You can predict what might be happening next. You can find comfort in your daily sounds of silence. If you closed your eyes, start to open them and become more alert. I close my eyes to listen. Sometimes it helps me to listen more if I am able to close my eyes, or do just to focus in words so that my ears can work better, I guess. I don't know how that goes. Become more present. Notice the colors of the room you're in. If there are things on the walls, if there are people near you, take in and notice and become presence again. Take a moment if you need to. This is a nice break to listen for the sounds of silence, wherever you may be, wherever you may need a break.